5, Councilmember Gina Bivens. I'm so sorry I didn't get to look in your face today. She had the second highest average donation at $1,450. Her largest donation was $7,500 from Ken Newell. Newell's occupation was not listed on the campaign finance, but he is a developer who also owns a sand and gravel company. Maybe this explains why Councilwoman Gina Bivens recently had a Black contractor named Randall Howard from RD Howard Construction locked up for nothing. It's in her interest to make sure contracts go to her white financial contributor. Moving the concrete crushing opportunity from Stop 6, a historically Black community, to 820 in Trinity. The concrete has to be crushed somewhere, and there's been no environmental risks that have been identified. A local supporter who's been crushing concrete, Ken, in the middle of a neighborhood, no one has said anything to him, and he donates heavily to Gina's campaign, so it's all kind of adding up. The Howard Hanley plan Workday, it would have put millions back into the community and created jobs. Unfortunately, the city of Fort Worth does not support Black contractors in Stop 6. It's riddled with slum, crime, unemployment, unclean grocery stores. There's actually no grocery store. We need a change of leadership, and we need to be on the right side of democracy. All right, so I'm gonna fast forward because I want to talk about oversight a little bit. I'm so sad Michael Crane is not here. In 2022, police departments across the country got more deadly, with the highest number of murders in a decade. During this same year, the city of Fort Worth chose not to hold their rogue police department accountable, who targets Black people 55% of their officer-involved shootings. I watched Jerry Williams and Michael Crane recuse themselves of a city council vote on the community development block grant due to their affiliations with nonprofits. What I can't understand for the life of me is why you get to accept money from the Fort Worth Police Association and then make a vote on holding the Fort Worth Police accountable. Carlos Flores, you accepted $5,000 from the POA a month after voting no on community oversight. Crazy. If you take money from police associations, how can you ethically vote on issues of their oversight?
Our next speaker is Manuel Mata, who will be followed by Gerald Banks Sr.
Good evening. My name is Manuel Mata. I'm in District 9. I'm going to try to paint a picture for you. I'm 42 years old. 21 of those years I spent in corrections, from Texas Youth Commission, TDCJ, to the federal system, paying for my actions when I chose not to care about anyone or myself. I was traumatized at 12 by my father's actions. He destroyed our family and left. Here's my problem. I was turning 13 and going to the Texas Youth Commission because everything fell apart. I didn't know how to react because it affected our whole family. I turned to what my dad showed me: violence and the streets. No one cared because no one knew. What happens at home stays at home. A teacher and a school officer tried to help, but I wouldn't cooperate. I became this person that would never cry or be hurt by anyone again, ever. What I did endangered the lives of numerous police officers and residents. I held a neighborhood hostage for almost an hour because I did not care. That is our problem now. These kids no longer care because their everyday lives force them not to. They wake up to very dysfunctional environments. A straight-A student that wins an invention convention contest for his school can be a victim as well, because these kids are being forced to survive their neighborhoods, not live in them. Kids have a component that I was taught: fear of rejection. That's why you see them in their rooms or walking around with headphones. They've been desensitized towards violence and lost, not allowed to process that because they might be the next ones. They are not adults because most of them never got to be kids. The only thing I learned in correctional institutions was how to be more violent, be willing to do brutal things for a reason that would not make sense to most. I mention all of this to say, if you can't show or give these kids in single-parent homes in, as you call them, high crime areas, at-risk youth. Locking them up is the last resort. It's time we start talking about care over control measures. Show these kids that you all care because they stopped. Thank you.